Hey, what's up guys, I'm Victorian and welcome back to Victoria 3 as we are playing as the United States. So you notice I got a ton of more stuff constructing than what we ended the last episode with. So I've got one railway building in a state that is currently a little bit low on infrastructure. I think that's Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're short by just a little bit. Also got some more naval bases building up, so just kind of make it a little bit more of even numbers in some of our locations. I kind of fit into the divisions that you would typically have for your admirals. Right now we've got several admirals that have traits, as we saw last episode, that have traits that give you additional command limits, but this will make it so that when we don't have those admirals, we got the regular numbers that'll be able to fit better into those standard numbers, which is about 20 ships at a time based on those ranks. And then we got some barracks building as well in several locations. You'll notice there's quite a few of them, and that's because we have an HQ here. We'll take a look at it in a minute. An HQ, I guess we can look at it now, where we didn't have any units yet. That was the Great Plains HQ. So they're the only states in our country outside of, well, I guess even Cuba's got a couple units, but yeah, outside of Guatemala, that they weren't helping to protect the nation. So yeah, we've got a few units building there. I think it's like 20 total. All right, so let's go and let it play. We've got a lot of stuff constructing, so should, I don't know, with how much we're constructing at a time, it probably will only get us through, well, yeah, you can see how much we just produced there. Of course, barracks and the shipyards, or not the shipyards, but the naval bases, they all build pretty quick. So yeah, I was going to say it's not going to last very long, and yeah, it's not. We'll be done here. Within a few months, we'll probably have it all constructed. But yeah, this is a big part of the mid to late game. It's just constantly adding to your construction because you can construct so quickly. And looks like we got a movement to preserve the right of assembly. Also, maybe a diplomatic play here that we want to declare neutrality in, because yeah, I don't see us wanting to get involved in this. So yeah, let's go and declare neutrality in it. We're not concerned with that. Still trying to get the protected speech passed, which of course what's that preserve movement is about. And until we get it done, I think we're going to keep our authority where it's currently at, sitting at the 290. We're also looking, and this is part of why we're building so much, looking to declare war on Canada, and thus the British. That's why we're building so many of those ships and units here. You know what, we have a lot of bureaucracy. Let me just take a look. Are we currently working on institutions? We are. Okay, so we'll have to wait until we're done with those, but I think even after those are done, we'll probably be able to go even further with it. But we'll wait to do it so we can see exactly where we're sitting at. So we got another one of the popular playwright events, so we can use this to increase that enactment success chance, which is currently sitting at 46%, so not bad right now. And I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, let's go and do that. Now we could also just permanently get 20 prestige, which is nice as well, because it's a permanent bonus. Well, I'm tempted to get that. It's not going to make that big of a difference, but I'm tempted to get that because we're getting close to the British here. And so 20 extra prestige would be helpful. Remember, all the modifiers, any percentage modifiers would affect that 20 prestige. So it would probably go up by more than 20. And it's not that big of a deal what rank you are. You know, it's just kind of a point of bragging rights is the reason why you might want to get a little bit higher. Before we declare war on the British, you know, we'll be a higher rank. But yeah, we could do that. But let's just get this passed, guys. Because once it is passed, we'll be able to make use of that authority. So we could probably we could go back to the taxing, which we might have to, because we are losing a lot of money right now. And this is not a big deal because of the gold reserves, but this is at peace. So once we go to war, I'm going to unpause it there. Once we go to war, that's going to become a bigger problem for us. Now we could get even more constructing here, but I don't know what the price is going to look like. So we're just going to wait. It looks like Irish are going to South Australia. And French just continue colonizing. And you know what? I think we actually have an additional interest that we can make use of. So, no, this is not the French. This is Prussia here. So I mixed the two notifications up. Alright, so yeah, Prussia is, well, they're attempting to conquer, yeah, another state here in Germany. The Russians are looking quite mighty here, and so they got to be pretty close at this point to forming Germany. Yeah, they should be pretty close by now. So we'll likely see a Germany hit the world stage soon. I don't know how many more territories they need, but yeah, you get that one more. I mean, there's a few more here that they haven't gotten yet. But it's a fun game to do, the Prussian one. I almost did it here for the channel for the first series. I had another one I was looking at doing too. But yeah, after playing the America campaign as my second one, I was like, you know what, I think this one would be a good one for the start. And I don't think I've ever opened up a new game that Paradox has released with an American campaign. For Hoi 4, first campaign I ever did was Italy, which is funny because I never played as the Italians again until the recent expansion came out. Because the Italians never got a focus tree until then. So it looks like that will end up going to war. Yeah, everybody's all mobilizing now. But yeah, I suppose Victoria and Hearts of Iron 4 are the only Paradox games that have released since I've had the channel where United States was even an option. Because obviously CK3, they're not an option. Same with Stellaris. Can't play as United States in Stellaris. And what is this about? Oh, well, that's interesting. I guess because we stayed in this. They do want to bring us into the conflict against the Prussians. Well, who's all joined so far? I mean, we're probably not going to get involved here. Yeah, there's no way. I thought this was against somebody else. Okay, I'm not sure. But what are they offering? Obligation? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and decline that. We're not interested in getting involved in a German conflict right now. But yeah, we got another interest that we could declare. 2 more. Now they built the fleet up. So let's go with, we'll go here in Siberia. And then I guess we'll go ahead and continue going into Africa. Yeah, let's continue going into Africa. We'll do the Southern Africa interest. Or region, I should say, next. And we're back in the positive. Okay, so maybe we don't have to use the authority to pass those taxes again. And that's because we did just get all that stuff constructed. And we have some openings here. And so that's the reason why we're in the positive, because we're not spending the full amount of money there. So we'll see where we're at. But we've continued to increase the GDP. We're at 450 million. That is just skyrocketing. And we are now in the number 2 slot. We didn't even need to get that extra prestige in order to supplant the British. And we're very close to taking over that number 1 slot from the French as well. So I imagine our GDP is playing a large role in us increasing our prestige, but the increased military is probably helping us as well. And our population has now gone above the British too. So we're still below, the Russians, India, China, and France, which France has a massive population there, even more than Russia. Yeah, we're doing pretty good, guys. And of course, the GDP is now almost 100 million higher than France's, so doing very well there. And standard of living is also quite good, despite being a larger country with a lot of people, a diverse population. We're sitting at number 4. Canada also has a very high standard of living. It's another reason to take over their territory. All right, and then you got Montenegro at the number 1 slot. It's a small country, not very many people, and so that's the reason why it's easier for them to have the higher standard of living. If you look at all the top countries here, very few of them are large. I got the British here, but most of them are pretty small, or maybe 1 million people or so. But yeah, we're up here at the top despite our huge population. So that's saying something. So yeah, we're doing pretty good across all spectrums. So let's go and take a look at the market prices. I guess we can see if there's anything we want to export more of. Wood, definitely. That's something we built a lot of here just recently. So let's go and export more, but you've seen the price has dropped because of those that new construction. So let's go and export a bit more if there's anywhere to export, which it looks like there is. All right. So let's go with... We'll go with the British and the Dutch market. Now remember, this doesn't look like it's a lot, so probably not going to make much of a dent in the price, but again, I do expect that it'll increase in size and it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let's go and trade this wood as well. And again, we're just going to do a couple markets just because you just don't know how this is going to develop and increase in size. They say that it's only going to get 1 level, but that's rarely the case. We want to keep that grain low. There's nobody to trade the automobiles for. Now we do have pops that are currently buying it, so that's going to make it cheaper. Also, we're consuming a lot, government expense-wise, military expense-wise, with the barracks and conscription center, so it being cheaper is helpful. And the engines are decently priced that they should still be profitable here in Detroit, but obviously they're not making anywhere near as much as, like, let's say here in California, where I'm actually increasing the size of the motor industries there, because that's going to be where we produce our engines while we'll produce our cars in Detroit. But yeah, let's go and take a look and see what we actually need to build more of. How are we doing on prices here? So the telephones. Now we did just construct several buildings to improve that, but clearly that was not enough. Let me just make sure they're not still building. Yeah, it looks like we're still building some of these. So we just don't know how that's going to affect prices, but it's probably not going to bring it down enough. I don't know though, because there's not a ton of consumption. So that might be enough actually. Okay, so we'll just wait until those are done constructing and see where we're at here, guys. The wine, always a problem here, but now we don't have to just trade for it. We can go ahead and construct the wheat farms. And if grain gets too cheap, then we can just trade it. Though having cheap grain is obviously quite beneficial as well. So yeah, let's go and get some more wheat farms going. We actually don't have very many wheat farms, so that's interesting. Yeah, we have not constructed very many at this point. All right, well, let's go ahead and step up the ones we have here. And then let's go ahead and just base this off of the population. California, a place in real life, both historically and even today, a place of a lot of agriculture, is one that we haven't really built any agricultural buildings yet. I don't think they have any. If I'm not mistaken, it's all industry there. So yeah, it makes sense to really build up here as well. So we'll see how we look after building 20 of those. Next would be glass. We are actually getting a tech for that. Where are we at on there? 17 months. So we can build a few, but we don't want to get too out of control with it. Now, given we can trade it if it's too cheap. And actually, we haven't even finished here yet. Okay, so we'll let them increase those current locations, increase those in size. Let's just see if there's anywhere else we might want to build up. We'll do 2 over here in Florida. And then that's it for now, just because, again, we're going to get that tech, and that's going to allow us to basically increase our glass production dramatically. I suppose that won't offset the 3,000 shortage we have. I'm not entirely sure. I know it does make a big difference, but we'll wait until we get it. It's not like we don't have plenty of stuff to build. Steel, for instance, that's a tech that we're going to get next, but that's going to take some time to get to. So let's go ahead and do more steel works. Steel mills. So we got those 15 in Pennsylvania. Let's go up to 10 in New York. And we could just keep these going in these locations. I suppose we will. And I'm going to go up to 30 in Pennsylvania. They still have a stupid number of peasants. And look at all those unemployed. 85,000 unemployed. So yeah, there's a lot of available workers there in Pennsylvania. Over here with the luxury furniture and luxury clothes, we'll get both of those. We'll get the coffee as well, and there's not much we can do about the rubber right now. But what I can do is see if there's any new import routes. There's not. There's just nobody else producing it besides, I think, the British. And unfortunately, just no other options right now. And then fine arts. I mean, I think that's probably fine being more expensive. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. All right, so this is what we're going to work on, guys. So let's go and get a bunch of those constructing, because we always need more of these. So we'll go with the furniture manufacturers first, and let's go up. Yeah, I think we're going to do more in Pennsylvania and more in New York, where we just have all those people available. And you know, Ohio's got a lot of people too, so yeah. So that'll get us up to 20 there. I'm almost thinking we're going to start a new location for the furniture manufacturers. So let me just take a look and see how we're doing on standard living in all of our different states, and maybe find one that has a lower standard living. What I'm seeing here is maybe Oregon. You know, it's all just based on color, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I feel like Oregon is a little bit lower than other locations. Nebraska is also not quite as high. So let me just actually go in here and take a peek and see where we're at on the standard living. So you're at 16.8 there. Okay, so yeah, Nebraska actually is the lowest. Oregon is around the same though, so you could build it in either one of those, I suppose. Okay, so I guess we'll just base it off of who has, more people available. And that's where we'll build up our new furniture manufacturing. So they have 158,000 peasants, 25,000 unemployed. Yeah, clearly Nebraska is the place to get this construction started. So we're going to do 10 here in Nebraska. All right, so that looks good. And let's go ahead and go with the textile mills now. And again, this is just a big part of the game. It's just a lot of construction that you got to do. And you could just, not really consider where you build them at all and just kind of build them wherever. But yeah, I don't think that's the best way to do it if you want to like spread out the standard of living and stuff, and also focus a bit on certain locations so that they can get that best throughput. And so that's what we're doing here. Yeah, North Carolina still got a lot, so we'll go into there a bit. All right, so that's probably good for now. Let's go and take a look at the other good. That was coffee. Okay, so not very many options there for the coffee. Just Cuba right now because there's no other peasants in these other locations just yet. They do have some unemployed though. Okay, well, Guatemala, I don't think we should do the coffee plantations. I'd prefer to do the dye plantations. We'll take a look at what Panama has to offer as well. Well, let's go up to, I think we're gonna go all the way up to 50 here, guys. All right, so I do want to take a look at Panama and just see what all they can build here, because maybe coffee plantations aren't what we want. All right, yeah, I mean, I guess coffee's fine. You can do fruit as well, the banana plantations. Yeah, they have some unemployed here, so let's go ahead and just get, I suppose you could do 2 of these. Yeah, you could do 2 coffee plantations, so we'll do that. And then we need to get that dye here, the dye plantations, and let me see how many they could get. Okay, so they could do about 5 levels, but let's just do 3 levels for now, just in case they start losing pops for whatever reason, they move somewhere else or whatever. We do have unproductive trade routes. Okay. So we'll probably go ahead and cancel that one to Austria, because that's been a problem for a while now. A lot of times these will kind of like get better, but the one to Austria has been an issue for a while now. They're not losing that much. And we do actually need the wine, but it's not very high level, so yeah, it can't even increase in size, so it's not that big of a deal if you just cancel that. Same thing here with the exporting the oil. You're just not making any money, so let's just go and stop that as well. And it's not very large. It's not a large route. Now, we do want to make sure that we're not importing anything that we don't need. All right, so yeah, we're exporting currently a ton of fabric to the French. Also exporting a lot of wood as well, as you guys can see here, but fabric is clearly the thing we export the most of. I didn't realize just how much it was. The French, man, they just keep on eating up all the fabric that we'll give them. Wood and tobacco, exporting a lot of that. Same thing with the sugar here. Wine, we're attempting to import a lot. But now I don't think, I mean, it's still really expensive. We're building up to try and improve that, but each one of those does not produce a lot of wine, so importing is still kind of our main way of doing this here. We don't need to import dyes anymore, so we're going to stop that. Yeah, we'll stop the importing of dyes. And we just make sure we're not importing anything else that we don't need. Coffee is another thing, although this is actually not our route. Okay. Do need to import rubber though. I think those are the only locations we can import from. So we'll keep importing from them and just hope that some other options will become available. So I think we will go ahead and import a bit more wine. We'll do the Portuguese just because they got more available. All right, excellent. All right, so all this is costing some of that bureaucracy as well. Not a huge chunk of it or anything, but definitely a notable amount here. Trade routes is negative 360, but I mean, that's not even like just one level of one of our institutions. The institution cost is based off of your population. As the more people you get, the more expensive those institutions are going to be. So there was a peace treaty here. It looks like the French won, as in they humiliated Austria, and they also got a treaty port in Tripoli, but they also have to pay war reparations, so they won, but gave something up. All right, so all these have been enacted. Of course, this is like a slow process of the costs being applied to you, so it's not like, you know, you get them and then immediately you're hit with the cost. But yeah, this should be how much we had to play around with. I'm gonna let it go 1 week. Yeah, we're just gonna let this go, and then we'll do the event. And then we're gonna be increasing our institutions again. Another event we've seen frequently. So we're gonna go with the party will never end in this case. Not that we need more loyalists. We're doing great when it comes to the radical loyalist ratio, as to be expected when you have such a good standard of living and everybody's doing so well in your country, just dramatically increasing GDP. But just hovering over this, you know, and you're seeing where all that GDP is coming from. Look at Texas, man. Their GDP has really grown, yeah, considerably. This other war here, we never did declare neutrality. We can go ahead and do that. The war is just about to break out here. So I do want to see where we're sitting at on the infamy. 18.5, so still not there yet, guys. Also haven't got this law passed either. Just kind of waiting for both of those to happen. Still losing a lot of money. Again, with that, I think we had like 41 million in the gold reserve, so we're still doing great. The bar can be deceptive here for us. But yeah, I do think we will have to use the authority on another tax, guys. Maybe not on services, since it costs 200. I don't know. We'll see, guys. We'll see which one we want to do. I'm just worried that because we're getting plus 60 from the popularity of our president, so I'm just a little bit worried that, and that's not even counting the 20% too. You're getting the 20%. So I'm worried we get a new president with the next election, and then the authority drops too much. So it would just be easier if maybe we did a cheaper consumption good tax. So again, another chance for us to increase support for the law. But you know what? The support's pretty high here. And this would also result in the trade unions get more powerful, which they're already really powerful, as we've seen before. 20% chance would be great. You'd be at 75%, but we're doing pretty good, guys. So I'm gonna go with this because why not? Let's get more loyalists. 17.1 million loyalists in our country currently. But as far as like what we're gonna try and get infamy down to, I don't know, man. I almost want to get it all the way down to close to 0 before we do anything. That would take a long time. We have the nice bonus being applied, the 25% infamy decay. Yeah, it just takes a long time to burn infamy in this game. Alright, so California no longer going to get those bonuses. Instead, they're going to lose some migration attraction. We can go ahead and start looking at what we want to get next. Okay, well, we actually just got the automatic bottle blowers. This is not the one we're working on. This is just another one of those ones that will reduce the amount of workers. So probably won't make use of that right now. Although, there are a couple states that have... Yeah, you know what? There are a couple states that have that industry. Arizona is the one that comes to mind. That have some worker shortages. So maybe we'll go ahead and switch up their production methods. Just try and get them some more workers. So rubber, again, is getting very expensive, guys. And unfortunately, there's nowhere else for us to build that. So yeah, we're clearly going to have to conquer more territory and might end up getting that from the British in this upcoming conflict. We're already working on all these. I don't think these are constructed just yet. I think we're clearly going to have to work on wine more, guys. I know we built some, but that's not going to change it much when you're this short here. And they give you so little. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Really focus on the wine production. And yeah, if the grain gets too cheap, which right now it's fine. You want it cheap. If the grain gets too cheap, then yeah, we can just trade it off. That'll be fine. All right, so let's go ahead and do more of those. Maybe a bunch more is what I'm thinking. A bunch more of the wheat farms. So at California, we built them up to level 10. Let's get them a bit higher. They still have a lot of peasants there. And let me just see where all the high capacities are for these. Because I think we're going to build on another location. Yeah, definitely in Kansas. We'll go up to 20 here in California. I think we're going to need a lot. Yeah, quite a few of these most likely. Let's do more in Kansas. Yeah, I think we're just going to build a ton of these guys. Alright, so we're going to be working on wheat farms for some time. Try and get the wine situation improved here. So we don't have to keep trading for it. I think it'd be helpful. Yeah, trying to make some progress here on the timeline. It's only 1890. We've only been making about anywhere from like a year and a half to maybe 3 years per episode now here in the later. And just because it's so much production to be done. Quite a bit of production. So we can fund the oil pipeline here in California, but that's a $2,700 government expense for only 10 infrastructure. I just don't know if that's worth it. Get a bit of interest group approval, but industrialists already are loyal. So I think we're just going to do this one. Maybe there's something I'm not considering there. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it'd be that beneficial, all that money you're paying, just for what you're getting. I mean, it just doesn't seem all that beneficial at all. I'm hoping we'll pass it this time. We didn't pass it last time. It's just crazy. This is a big problem I feel with the laws. I've seen a lot of people other talk about them as well. A lot of other people like on the forums talk about it. How it's just nobody wants RNG determining so much in this game. I mean, you look at 55% and you say, oh, well, that means if it goes through it twice, then maybe once it fails and once it succeeds. Maybe it succeeds the first time. You don't got to go through it a second time. But that's not what that means, because each time is a 55% chance. So you don't know. Maybe you fell 3-4 times in a row. It's kind of like with flipping a coin. When you flip a coin, you think it's a 50-50 chance that it's going to land on heads or tails, right? And that is true, but only over an extended amount of time. I don't remember the exact number it is, the scientific number. I want to say 200, but maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's 100, perhaps just 50. I think it's 100 or 200. And that's the number of times you have to flip the coin in order for it actually to be about 50-50. So you might flip the coin 10 times and land on heads all 10 times because you didn't flip it enough times. It's over an extended amount of time. So 55% chance, I mean, we don't know. You could have this go through here 20 times before you actually succeed. And nobody wants to sit there through that. And I thought Paradox had kind of realized that, because more and more of their games had gotten rid of the percentage chances. They still use them, but you'll notice a lot less of them, of the percentage chances, because people don't like them in general, because they feel unfair. Looks like there's a revolution in the Netherlands right now. All right, well, we don't care about that. Although maybe we want to keep our eye on it because it is a potentially major conflict in Europe. Yeah, I guess I don't really care. Now, one thing about the British to consider is if they do go into like a major war, then that would be a good time to attack them. I haven't seen them join any major conflicts yet, though. But maybe this turns into it. I don't know. We'll see, guys. So maybe I should have kept it up there so we could keep a better eye on it. And the Dutch have declared Brazil to be a rival. Interesting. Anyways, yeah, I just feel like I'm not a big fan of the percentages with mechanics like this. Another example that I always found kind of irritating was in EU4. Oh, I never did increase the institutions. But yeah, in EU4 where they had the rebellions, where they had those set at a certain percentage. And so it's like, oh, you got a 25% chance of a revolt here, and then you're just constantly getting revolts. So yeah, I just don't like the percentages. But let's go with all of them, I think, because yeah, we can increase all of them with what we currently have in bureaucracy. So this will get us up to level 5 for Social Security, level 5 for Workplace Safety Office, level 5 for Law Enforcement, and then level 4 for Health Systems. So that'll be the last one for us to get. I think we might maybe have one more law that would institute. I can't think what it would be though. Maybe one more law for an institution. Maybe we'll look at that. Although I was thinking there wasn't any more laws we wanted to pass after this one. They just like irritate interest groups too much or whatever. We actually have the ability to build quite a bit right now. So let's go ahead and take care of that. You see we're currently just working on the wheat farms. All right, so let's see where the costs are at here. So yeah, grain is continuing to get cheaper and cheaper. Again, I kind of feel like that's okay unless the wheat farms can't make enough money. I suppose that's something to consider if wheat farms are struggling to earn a profit. Which it looks like they're still profitable here anyway, just because wine's so expensive. So So I think they're probably fine. You could also reduce the cost of the fertilizers a little bit to kind of help them out if it becomes an issue. So yeah, we've noticed some other things have become a bit more expensive when it comes to food. The fruit and the meat. Okay, hardwood has also increased in cost a bit, so we'll want to get that fixed. I'm not gonna stop trading, and I think that's just because we traded too much probably. I assume what happened there. But yeah, we're not gonna stop trading there. Sugar and dye. Okay, so let's go ahead and get all this constructed, guys. So we're gonna start with the livestock ranches. Its meat seems to be the most expensive here. This is the first time we've had to construct livestock ranches. We've built a few, but for the most part, meat has been consistently pretty decently priced in our country. So where do we want to get this? You can get it up to 140 here in Pennsylvania. Okay, so it makes sense to get there. California would also make sense. So let's go ahead and do Pennsylvania and California. I've lived in both of these states, and both of them have a crap ton of cows, as does Texas. And that should probably have a pretty high limit as well, you'd think. Ohio's got a decent limit here. Let's put a few there. And there's Texas with the 126. And we're going to build them up even higher. Alright, so that should bring down the cost of meat considerably. It'll also affect the fertilizer prices too. It'll bring those down as well. Alright, so that's one added bonus there. Fruit was the other thing we need to do. Banana plantations. They actually do have some peasants and unemployed there, so let's go ahead and build the banana plantations up here. Did we fully build them up in Cuba? Okay, so it looks like they did run out of arable land in Cuba. So we might want to take a look at that, because what you do... How many can we get of these? We can do a bit more. Because yeah, what you would want to do in that case is maybe delete some of the buildings we can get anywhere. Like, rice farms. You can get that anywhere. So you don't really need to have them here. Yeah, I think we're going to delete this one, guys. Get rid of the rice farms here. I know that it's going to fire all those people, but the problem here is the lack of arable land. So that was the issue there. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get rid of this completely, so that we can instead build... Yeah, I was wondering what happened there. Yeah, more coffee plantations, and I think we'll do more banana plantations as well. And we'll see which one of these... I'm thinking we're probably going to do bananas, actually. There we go. Alright, so that'll use up all the arable land that we currently have in Cuba, so no more building there, unfortunately. Or at least not for agricultural goods. Alright, so we did the fruit, we did the meat. Fruit is actually more expensive now. And we need to do the wood. The wood next. And don't know if we can do any sugar plantations anywhere, because Cuba obviously doesn't have that option. We'll take a look at it. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll look at the sugar plantations first. Yeah, there's a bunch of places you can do sugar. Okay, so Texas can actually get quite a bit here. They have a ton of peasants, so it makes sense to probably go there. And Georgia also got a lot of peasants. So yeah, we'll build up in all these locations. There we go. So get the sugar costs down a bit. Sugar costs aren't that bad though. And then it's going to be wood again, guys. More wood. Get these logging camps going. Alright, so I think we're going to go all the way up here in Pennsylvania. Get them off the list there. Let's just base this off population all the way up here in Ohio, which has a stupid number of free peasants right now. And yeah, just probably max these out. Just get them off the list. There we go. So that's a lot of logging camps right now. Is there anything else that we want to get at this moment? I suppose you could bring down the cost of tobacco some. And glass. We're still waiting to get that tech. Surprised we haven't gotten that yet. All right, so let's go with more tobacco in Virginia, I think. And then also South Carolina. And I'll get a couple in Kentucky. All right. Gotta keep them busy for a little while, but yeah, just not very long. You just constantly gotta dip back in there and construct and build things. So we're making very slow progress here, guys. Unfortunately, I'm trying to get this infamy down. Now it is pretty low now. So that's good. You know, I just realized, guys, I forgot we switched that tech over. So we actually do need to get the glass buildings. I was thinking we were getting it now, but I forgot we switched over to the naval one. So yeah, we'll go and get a bunch of glass works. Why not? So yeah, we can do a bunch in Ohio, Massachusetts. Yeah, we're just gonna build up in all these locations here. And I also forgot to take a look at Arizona, though they do actually have some workers there. Okay, so we'll give them a couple buildings there, and maybe North Carolina as well. All right, so that's good for now. Yeah, I'm hoping that by the end of this episode, we'll be ready to declare war. That's the goal. We did hit the #1 ranked spot now. So we're the #1 country in the world with 5,000 something prestige here, and quite a bit higher than the French and the British, which look like they're flip-flopping. Yeah, between second and third place here. But GDP is enormously higher than theirs. We'll double theirs very soon with all this building that we're currently doing. And a big part of this is deficit building as well, because, you know, obviously our money is not great. Did we have an election? Where did we lose so much authority from? No, we didn't have an election or anything. He's not as popular, though. His popularity has declined quite a bit. All right, we got an event here, discord within the rural folk. So this can give us a 15% enactment success chance and also reduce their group attraction, which a little bit surprised we're even getting this event here, because I thought they didn't have that much support. No, they got 11.6%. Okay, so their clout was much lower, but it's actually increased, maybe because of all those agricultural buildings that we constructed. So yeah, we're gonna go with this. Get the 15%, guys, because we can't get it past otherwise, apparently, because 50-something% is just not high enough, guys. So now we're at a 69% chance of success. You'd think that would be enough, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I want to get that done before we declare war here, but you know, we still have infamy to burn off here, and of course, as soon as we start the diplomatic play, we'll get more infamy. Because you know, if you're not burning off infamy, then you're wasting everybody's forgiveness time. You could be getting some forgiveness from people. Instead, you're just sitting at 0. So yeah, we want to always be burning off this infamy, if possible. So Charles has offered. Okay, so he wants to create the university, which we absolutely will allow. We have not been building universities, which we actually could to get these techs a little bit faster, and we're moving a lot slower here, so we should probably get some universities going, guys. I just didn't even think about it, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to build a bunch of universities. So let's go with, I think we're going to get all these up to like level 10. Our main states here. And I don't know how high we'll have to get it. California needs universities too. We'll see if that's enough, guys. It's going to get very expensive when we're building those because we won't be able to use the investment pool for them. And another war has broken out over here. And they have the North German Federation now. Okay, so no longer have a Prussian, country of Prussia. So Scandinavia wants us to join their side. All right, because yeah, they've been expanding down here apparently. They're in Holstein now. So, I mean, I guess that's always kind of a point of contention between Denmark and Germany. And of course, Denmark is part of the Scandinavia tag here. So just looking at who's all leaning to help them. I mean, I don't think we're going to get involved with this either way, but you got Russia, Venezuela, and Brazil on that side. I think we're going to stay in this because I'm interested what's going to happen here. But we're probably going to decline this. So this is the war goal. We're going to liberate them. I'm not interested in that at all. That doesn't even benefit us. I mean, it benefits everybody, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think we'll be assisting in that, guys. Although, the British are getting involved, which means, you know, we might not want to assist, but it'd be a good time to declare war on them. Yeah. Okay, this would be a fantastic time to declare war, because this is going to be a larger conflict. You got the Germans fighting the British. This is going to be a big old war, guys. So I think we're going to take advantage of it. Yeah, they're even opening up their conscription centers, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, this would be a fantastic time to go to war, guys. So yeah, we'll likely be attacking the British here soon. Let this get a little bit higher. I don't want them to pull out of the play. I doubt they would, but they could. You know, if they have another play targeting them. But yeah, I don't think they would, guys. We do have the ability to declare more interest. 2 more, in fact. So almost have the whole world here. Let's get these 2 African interest regions, strategic regions, I guess is the name there. And we also aren't building as well. Looking at our fleet and our army, we have 143 battalions, 183 ships. So we probably should have built that up a bit higher. Now it's a bit late though. We're not gonna get it done in time, so I don't think we're gonna attempt to. Let's just build some other stuff here. Just get this constructed. So with the dye, you know, we can try and do more of the plantations. We'll see if they have the workers available to do that. Looks like it, yeah. So we're gonna go up, let's see here. We'll go up by, let's just double it. That should be good with the workforce they currently have. But that's not gonna be enough. So we do want to go ahead and start producing a bit more in our synthetic plants, which of course those also produce the silk. I don't know where the silk costs are looking right now, but yeah, I think we'll be fine. All right, so let's go. I mean, we're finally starting to get the number of workers down in some of these locations here. I think we're going to build quite a bit here in Texas. You see how the other locations are looking. You got in Pennsylvania into the 500,000s. But yeah, I think we're going to need to build more there as well. So we'll get 10 of these here. All right, so telephones. That's still a bit high. It's not too bad. Iron's a bit higher though, so we'll do that first. And I'm really hoping we can get the diplomatic play started here, guys. We're looking pretty good when it comes to infamy. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I just kind of want to let this get a little bit further here. I don't know if they're not gonna be any more committed, I suppose, but all right. So now we need to get the iron. We're gonna do a lot of this in Pennsylvania. They still have a ton of workers here, guys. So yeah, we'll do a bit more there, and New York. You can build it up in New York as well. Yeah, why not? We'll do some more in Massachusetts here, and New Jersey, and Alabama. Yeah, we're just gonna do all these locations here that have a lot, over 200,000 anyway. And then the telephones, the electric industries. Need to get more of those. Pennsylvania is the key location for that right now. Might want to expand them somewhere else. I think in Indiana. Let's take a look at our GDP again. Or excuse me, our standard of living. And see if there's anywhere else we might want to build this. I guess it makes sense to do it in Oregon since we were talking about doing it that other industry there. So we'll build it up here. I didn't get any yet, right? No. All right, so let's go up to 10 here, and then we'll get 5 there. Telephone should be fairly decently priced at that point. And I guess you could do more fine art. Could do that, or we could just do the sulfur. Yeah, we'll do the sulfur. We'll get that. And as far as where we're gonna get it going, let's do California, Iowa, and Minnesota. All right, excellent. Okay, so let's let this play a bit, and then we'll get the play started up, the diplomatic play. I do think that the British are gonna go all the way if nobody backs down here. Which they're confident now that they have British support. So I don't think anybody's gonna back down on this. I think it's gonna be a big old conflict. Basically the Germans against Scandinavia and Britain. All right, so I feel like they're close enough to it. And William Sherbrooke has died. He served us for a long time. Alright, so we need to get a ton of admirals and generals as well. We might do that next episode, though, because I don't know if we'll even get fully through the diplomatic play. So unfortunately, there's no diplomatic plays available to us here. I'm not entirely sure why that is, because we have the poor relations with them. We have the interest here as well. Now with the British, we actually have pretty good relations, and they are the overlord, but I don't think it works that way. I think it's whatever your relations are with the country you're trying to declare war on. So I don't think that would impact it. You do have the diplomatic play here, which you're going to declare a neutrality, I guess. But yeah, that's not going to cause the problem either, because you're going to have multiple diplomatic plays. So I'm not entirely sure what the issue here is. Why can't we do the diplomatic play? I can try and damage relations with the British, and I don't think that's it. Yeah, we can start damaging relations with them, because that's why we don't have any diplomatic plays against them, but we should have them against Canada. I'm not entirely sure what the problem here is. Why we can't declare war on them. I mean, it's got to be, it's got to be because it's considering the British and their relations. So, unfortunately, we can't get the diplomatic play started until we get the relations a little bit lower. Now, there are other things we could do, like expel diplomats. That does does result in you getting infamy, increases your infamy. It's 10 infamy, so yeah, not something we want to do. That's going to take a while to get, too. We got the sea lane strategies. We actually needed more naval base space. I mean, we had plenty of room left, but certain states couldn't build any further. So yeah, we got that, and then most importantly, we got the naval base production method here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that put in place. I guess we don't want to do it through there. It'd be easier to do it through here. So yeah, we'll put this in place, but yeah, this is unfortunate. We can't do the conflict. This will increase offense and defense by 15. Also, morale damage and morale damage protection will go up by 30%. We have a higher training rate, and we'll have less servicemen and more officers. So let's switch over to that. And get another tech selected as well. I mean, I was going to do more military techs. We could always use more of these in the future conflict. I guess you'd want to do dreadnoughts. Makes the most sense. Yeah, we'll do the dreadnoughts next. Get that in 2 years. But yeah, this is unfortunate. We can't declare war on them because we can't take advantage of the conflict that's broken out here. That's a real bummer. So yeah, clearly I should have looked at this earlier, but I didn't know it was going to be a problem. Hawaiian people are coming to Massachusetts. I suppose we could go do war somewhere else. We still have infamy to burn off here, but it's going to take time to get the relations low enough, if that's even the problem. So I mean, you could do Hawaii instead, try and do a diplomatic play on them, but of course to do that you'd have to reduce relations with them too, so that takes time. Could just continue expanding down this way, and maybe they'll just give in and doesn't even start a conflict. Let me just take a look at the allies that these countries have, if they have any at all. Alright, so they have a defensive pact with them, so that'd be a larger conflict. Oh wow, they got defensive pacts all throughout here. I said larger conflict just because they're a larger country, but yeah, it wouldn't be that difficult. I think it makes the most sense to probably conquer El Salvador because they have these 2 locations here. So I guess that's what we would do, because it's going to take too long to get the relations down with them. Again, if that's what the problem is, I don't know what else the problem could be though. So yeah, well, that's what we'll probably do, guys. Let's go ahead and do a diplomatic play against them. And we would conquer their territory. They do have some rubber there, so we'd want to go after... I mean, this one's probably better, but this one's part of this state here. Now, one issue is that we can't give that back to Mexico. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to give it back to Mexico. There's no real option to do that right now, which that's what state it belongs to. Unless Mexico joins, which I suppose you could get them to join, maybe by giving them offering to that state. So that might be what we end up doing. So then we'd want it to be over this territory here. Also, there's more rubber there. Oh, maybe not. There's 7 here. So it would be advantageous to actually just keep that for ourselves. Let's go and do the play to conquer the state, and we'll see if anybody else gets involved. You'd think not, but who can really tell with the AI in this game? You really just don't know. So let's let this go a bit before we... I guess we do want to add another war goal in there. So yeah, we want to get that state as well, though I am kind of curious. Maybe we'll wait, because I'm kind of curious if we can get Mexico involved for that state there. Though, again, there's the question, do you want to? Because there's all that rubber there. We also just got all of these institutions increased. Excellent. So yeah, we're at level 5 for everything, except for the health system, which we actually can't even get to the final level. We have to have something to unlock that. Okay, so we're as high as we can be for all of our institutions. All right, nice. So yeah, you could invest that in something else. As far as what we'd invest it in, I mean, let me just take a look if we have any decisions real quick. No, not any that we're interested in doing. Though, I could see doing the Antarctic expedition. The only thing I'm worried about is, do we want to do more expeditions? Does that bug still exist? Potentially causing us that same problem? I don't know, guys. I don't know if we want to do it until that bug gets patched and fixed, which I think is supposed to happen in 1.1. So might just want to wait. Look at that standard of living, guys. It's already at 20.7. So we are now number 1. Number 1 in everything but population, I think, because, you know, prestige, obviously, we're higher there. GDP, you know, we're about to double the next country. Looks like Costa Rica has joined in that. We should hopefully get this law passed soon. We do need to raise up our troops here in a little bit as well, but let me get this done, guys. As of right now, nobody else has gotten involved, and a big part of that is because we're only demanding one thing, and also there's already that war in Europe. Yeah, when you only demand one thing, it's a lot less likely they're gonna see people join. But I'm kind of curious why Mexico doesn't want that territory. Yeah, that's really interesting. You would think they would want it. Yeah, they don't want it. Okay, whatever. We'll take it ourselves. We need the rubber anyways, so it's probably for the best that we just take it. So yeah, let's go ahead and add another war goal here. Hopefully nobody else joins because of this. Could take over Costa Rica, but you got all this territory in between. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go for this, and we don't really want that much infamy for just this conflict here, guys. So yeah, we're going to add in that state there, so we'll get control of both of these, and we already have a state here that neighbors it at least, so it's not gonna look too bad. I mean, it's all blue anyways. All right, so that looks good, and that's all we're gonna be doing. I suppose if we really wanted to, we could, you know, force them to give us reparations, but let's not do anything, guys. And they back down. Okay, so just like that, we conquered it. But we did not get this state here, unfortunately. So that'd have to be another diplomatic play. So that gave us a bit of infamy here that we can now work on burning off as we try and get relations with the British down, which we're almost there. Under 25, I think that's what we need to get it at. All right, so that means we have another state here where we can build rubber plantations. So this should be an absolute priority, guys. So let's go and tick those up to the top. Population could be an issue. Let me make sure they have a port here. Okay, they do not, so this needs to be a priority as well. Or else they'll remain an isolated location. Nobody can even move there. I think we might get rid of the logging camps to get more population here. Yeah, let's go and get rid of the logging camps. We have plenty of those and plenty of locations you can build that. And you got the dye plantations here. We might just tick down a lot of this stuff so we can focus on coffee and dye and sugar and bananas and all that kind of good stuff, rather than this kind of stuff here. And we could do that in Cuba as well. We did it with some of them, but there might be more we can do. Same thing with Guatemala eventually. And just focus on the stuff that those states do well that you can't do in other places. So that might make a bit of sense. So yeah, we got a bit more territory here. We got more rubber. We need to add them as a state. So let's go and do that. Let's incorporate this state now. So we can get more stars here, guys, because that's what's important. That's probably going to take a little while, maybe 5 years, I think, is what it will take in order to incorporate them. Let's take a look here. Yeah, 5 years is going to be the length there. All right, so I want to see if this... Oh, we got the protected speech. That's another thing I was waiting on. So we got the technology spread, faster technology spread, but lost that authority. Okay, so we won't be able to do anything because we have no authority. Okay, so all we can really do is the greener grass campaign in Guatemala, which really isn't necessary. We'd probably want to switch that over to here, though that doesn't work until you get the port. I guess we'll start doing it over there. So let's take it off of Guatemala and move it over here, even if they can't actually get any bonus until we get the port done. But that's okay. I don't want to forget to do it, which, you know, I will. I suppose if we continue to have issues, we could just continue our expansion into Central America, further into Central America, go further south, get more rubber and all those kind of goodies. But yeah, that wasn't what the goal was here, guys, is to get this Canadian situation dealt with. So yeah, if you guys happen to know what the problem is here, maybe I'm just forgetting about something. Yeah, there could very well be some kind of factor impacting this that I'm just neglecting. But yeah, again, I just didn't expect it to be a problem because I thought it was based off of the subject, you know, because that's who you're declaring war on. And then the overlord just comes to the defense, especially with like a dominion or whatever. Again, I'm not entirely sure why it's requiring, if that's even the issue, why it's requiring us to have the lower relations with the overlord. But yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it's going right now. You can see that we do have some issues, guys. Lots of market access issues. So we need to get those fixed. So we'll actually do that now. That one we already know about. But New York, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. So I'm going to do that right now so that we think about it. So I don't forget about it, I should say. And we're going to get... they got huge problems. They rebuilt a little bit too much there. So this one, you're going to have to do multiple levels here. So we'll get those built. I don't want to tick too many up to the top because we did have other stuff that we were constructing that was pretty important, like the rubber plantations. But yeah, unfortunately, that will have to be the end of today's episode. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you guys on the next one. And thanks for watching.